Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make a curved letter monogram using masking fluid. So let's do it! Okay, since I did my last floral monogram tutorial, people were asking me how to do curved letters because obviously it's a lot harder to do curved letters with tape. So for my materials today, we're going to be using masking fluid. I have Winsor Newton masking fluid that I got at Michael's. And for this, you're going to need a brush. So I just have this really cheap brush that came with my praying set. You're not going to want to use one of your good watercolor brushes, so I suggest getting a cheap round brush if you can, even from the dollar store. You will have to wash it with soap and water after because some of the gluey, sticky residue I didn't wash this one properly actually, so there's still some of that glue on it, but it could damage your brush, so don't use a good one. And today, we're going to be using bee paper. So I bought bee paper from Michael's. It was about $20. It's 140-pound cold pressed paper, 100% cotton. So it's very close to Arch's watercolor paper and a little less expensive. It came already cut in these 6x9 inch shapes. And so we're going to try this one out today. And then of course I have my Winsor Newton Common watercolors. I have my Princeton snap brushes. I have a size 4 here, size 16. Paper towel, water. You're gonna need a pencil to draw out your shape of your letter and a decent eraser for erasing the pencil lines, as well as picking up the masking fluid. Lots more stuff today. So the first thing you're gonna do is draw out your shape. And I thought, what's better than a really curvy S to do? So I'm gonna draw out my S roughly with my pencil. I'm just gonna move my water. And I'm gonna draw it bigger than I would want it. And I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm just gonna try my best to draw out an S. Now, if you're not good at drawing like block letters, what you can also do is, if you have a computer and a printer, you can print a letter really big and then use your window in your house as a light board if it's a sunny day. Put it right up against your window with the watercolor paper on top and trace it. You're gonna wanna trace it kind of around the line because you're gonna go inside the line with your masking fluid. We're not gonna be putting the masking fluid right on top of the pencil line. You're going to be going inside it because you don't want the watercolor to touch the pencil line. Okay, because once you paint over pencil, you can't really take it up, or it's very difficult to. Okay, so once you have your line like that, you're gonna take your masking fluid. Now you don't wanna shake it because then you're gonna get a bunch of air bubbles, but you can go like this a couple times just to mix it up. It looks like this inside. And I'm just gonna take my brush like this, and I am going to go around the inside of my pencil lines. And what this does is it kind of sets down almost like a glue. Not a glue, but it's like a glue consistency, kind of like rubbery bit that you can pull off after. Not glue, sorry. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just think of glue because when you're pulling it off, it's like kind of like when you pull off white glue off your hands, which is so fun. And you don't want too much of a thin coat of it, not too thick, not too thin, just because you want to make sure it does come off your paper. And I have tried the masking fluid pens and it didn't come off as well. I tried them a long time ago and I wasn't as impressed. And I just tried this masking fluid last night and it actually came off quite easy. So just try your best to draw right around, because wherever you are drawing with this, if you paint over it, the underneath will be white. And just keep in mind, it also has a bit of a strong smell to it, almost kind of like a permanent marker. So if you're sensitive to that, just keep that in mind. And there you go. And then once you're done with this, make sure to wash it in warm water with some soap. So we're gonna wait for this to dry and then we will start painting. Okay, so now that your masking fluid has dried, we are gonna start painting our watercolor florals. So let's go with some pinks maybe. It's gonna take my permanent rose color. I'm gonna do a nice big peony over here. Just very loose. And like I said in my last watercolor monogram tutorial, you know, just when in doubt, just do kind of like petal shapes. Like it doesn't have to be a full flower. You know, just do some nice petal shapes. Let's see how this paper is working out. Add some darker color. Now I see parts of it already drying, so it does dry a little fast, this bee paper. But it's not quite as fast as Canson. But it doesn't stay wet so far as long as Arches does, just from what I can tell from those first couple strokes. Okay. Let's do some peach flowers. Maybe I'll do a nice rose here, squiggly lines. And you'll notice once you paint over the masking fluid line, it just kind of like beads off. It won't stay on that masking fluid, which is what you want. Yeah, so I'm noticing with this paper, some parts of it dry kind of fast, which is not ideal for me, at least. I'll do another little rose over here. Also because I like my flowers to kind of bleed into one another. And if they dry too fast, you can't really get that effect. Interesting. It's so interesting to try different types of paper to see how they work. So yeah, once an area starts to dry and then you put some wet over, you're gonna get those marks, which isn't bad. I don't think this is gonna look bad at all. It's just, it's not gonna blend as well as it would if it all stayed wet the whole time. Okay, so you might just have to re-wet some areas. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit over here too. And I might do some maybe yellow petals. Just random petal shapes. I don't remember if I finished that thought about just doing petals. So yeah, when in doubt, just do kind of petal shapes. You don't have to see the whole flower to make it look like a floral monogram. Okay, see, look at this, it's drying in certain places. So odd. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna do some greenery. I'm just gonna take whatever leftover green I have in this green spot. Just make sure not to go over that masking fluid line. And change up the value of some of your leaves so you have darker ones, lighter tones. Just makes it look a bit more interesting. Like this one, I have a really light leaf here and then a darker one beside it. Like that. There you go. So now we are going to wait for this to dry. Okay, so once your watercolor is fully dry, and I mean fully dry, you don't want to start erasing if it's a little bit wet because you'll smudge your watercolor. It's time to lift up the masking fluid and erase around the edges. If you can get a kneaded eraser at an art store, these things are the best. They don't leave marks and they take up pencil really well and they take up the masking fluid really well. So I'm just going to erase some of these pencil marks around. But also taking up the masking fluid. So you just gently like almost erase it, and then it comes up kind of like glue or a piece of tape almost, which is pretty cool. Okay. Oops. And you can pull it off or erase it off. Which is kind of fun because, like I said earlier, it's kind of like pulling white glue off your hands. I don't know if you guys did that when you were a kid. I definitely did. Like this. Super satisfying. And so far it works well on this paper, the masking fluid. Other masking fluids I have used in the past actually ruined some of the paper. So I don't know if it was the paper or the type of masking fluid that I had. I had that masking fluid pen like I told you, and it just ripped up some of the paper when I was taking it off, and I was even being gentle. So for now, know that the Winsor & Newton masking fluid that I got works well with the B paper, and it also works well with Arches paper too. I tried that last night. And I think when you're laying the masking fluid on, you might want to do it a bit thicker, on the thicker side than the thinner side, just because it's easier for it to come off if it's thicker. Yeah, it was really thin at that point. Let's erase some of these pencil marks. And there you go. There is your floral monogram. Okay, so looking at this paper, it's not bad. You can get some really nice blends like you do with Arches paper, but I found it did dry a bit quick in some places, like here, and that's why I got the watermarks. I don't think it looks bad. Overall, I think it looks quite good. But yeah, that's kind of like my final thoughts on the B watercolor paper. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's pretty decent. It might just take a bit of practice to work with, and this masking fluid is pretty good too. So there is your curvy, lettered floral monogram. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it, and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for more. So have a great day, guys.